At my sister's engagement party, she told the whole room I wasn't family anymore, then every card at the table declined. I quietly handed the waiter my black card, and his eyes went wide. The Harbor Club was exactly the kind of place my sister Isabella would pick. Marble floors, white tablecloths, waiters who memorized your name. She reserved the private dining room for 30 guests. I wasn't on the original list. My cousin Ava called me 3 days before and said, "Show up anyway, don't let her erase you." So I went. I wore a simple black dress and sat at the far end of the table between Ava and our Uncle Raymond. Isabella noticed me the second I walked in. She didn't say hello. She whispered something to her fiancé Derek, and he glanced at me and shrugged. The evening started fine. Appetizers, champagne, small talk. Then Isabella stood up to give a toast. She thanked everyone for coming, talked about Derek, about their future, about how grateful she was for her real family. That's it when she looked directly at me. "I want to be honest tonight," she said. "Over the years, some people in my life have tried very hard to bring me down, and I've decided that moving forward, I'm only keeping people around me who actually lift me up." She paused and let the words settle. "So if anyone's wondering why certain people almost didn't get an invitation tonight, that's why. Because blood doesn't make you family, loyalty does." 30 heads turned and looked at me. I didn't move. I didn't flinch. I took a slow sip of water, set the glass down, and folded my hands on the table. Ava squeezed my wrist under the tablecloth. What Isabella didn't tell the room was why we stopped speaking. 3 years ago, I found out she'd been telling our parents that I had a serious gambling problem, that I was drowning in debt, that I'd asked her for money several times and she'd had to cut me off. None of it was true. Not one word. I'm a contracts attorney at a firm downtown. I'd been working 70-hour weeks since passing the bar. I had zero debt and a savings account that would have made our father choke. But Isabella needed a story to explain why I'd pulled away from the family, and the truth was too simple for her. The real reason I stopped coming around was that every single time I showed up to a family event, Isabella found a way to hijack it. My promotion dinner became about her new car lease. My birthday brunch became a therapy session about her breakup with her ex. When I graduated law school, she announced her engagement to a different boyfriend at the dinner table before I could even open my cards. So I stopped going. And instead of accepting that, Isabella rewrote the whole story. I became the jealous sister with the gambling habit, the unstable one, the problem nobody talked about. Dinner continued. Isabella held court, laughing, flashing her ring. 12 courses, 3 bottles of wine per table, a dessert spread that probably cost more than rent. Then the check arrived. Isabella waved her hand toward Derek without even looking. "Derek's taking care of it." Derek pulled out his card confidently and handed it to the waiter. Declined. His face tightened. He tried a second card. Declined. Isabella's smile flickered. She reached into her clutch and pulled out her own card. Declined. The waiter didn't blink. He just stood there, perfectly professional, holding the leather check holder like it was made of glass. Isabella's maid of honor. Kendra offered her card. Declined. 2 of Derek's groomsmen tried next. Declined. Declined. The total on the bill was $14,200. Isabella scanned the room. "Does anyone have a card that works?" The private dining room went completely quiet. Uncle Raymond glanced at me. Ava nudged my arm. Even guests who barely knew me could feel the shift in the room. I didn't say a word. I reached into my clutch, pulled out my card, and handed it calmly to the waiter. He looked at the name embossed on the front. Then he looked at me. "Thank you, Miss Calloway. I'll process this right away." 2 minutes later, he returned. Approved. No issue. No hesitation. Isabella didn't look at me. Not once. She was staring at Derek, who was hunched over his phone checking his accounts with both thumbs. The table stayed silent. I signed the receipt, added a 25% tip, and pushed my chair back. "Congratulations on the engagement," I said, loud enough for the table to hear. "Dinner's on me." I stood up. Ava stood with me. Uncle Raymond followed. The 3 of us walked out of the Harbor Club together without another word. Outside in the parking lot, Raymond started laughing. $14,000 to prove a point? "It's not about the money," I said. "It's about the fact that she stood up in front of 30 people and said I'm not family, and I was the only person at that table who could actually cover the bill. I didn't ask to be paid back. I didn't text the family group chat. I didn't say anything to anyone, but I knew exactly what would happen next, and it did." By the following morning, every person at that table was replaying the same scene. The sister Isabella had called disloyal, unstable, a gambler, quietly covered a $14,000 dinner without blinking, while the golden couple couldn't process a single card between them. Mom called that afternoon. "Isabella is embarrassed. She wants to talk. She should be embarrassed. And she has my number. She's had it for 3 years. She's never used it. I doubt she'll start now." Isabella didn't call, didn't thank me either. I heard from Ava 2 months later the wedding stalled because Derek's finances were mostly performance. The declined cards weren't a glitch. They were the truth.